16-117, approval of minutes of the previous minutes, excuse me.
Resolved that the minutes of May 9th and May 16th, 2016 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert. Is there any conversation, discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Meg Lefebvre,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, carries. Resolution 16-118, abstract.
Resolved that the abstract of auditor claims number 6A-16, 926 to 1068 for $175,500.12. An abstract 6A-16, 205 to 229 prepays in the amount of $558,791.31 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisors hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Mannix. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Meg Lefebvre,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, carries. And I do apologize, I did call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Proclamation of Recognition 16-119.
Whereas on January 14th, 1952, concerned residents of the Katyville met at St. Anthony's Hall to discuss the need to increase fire protection in their community. Whereas on January 21st, a petition signed by over 51% of the proposed district residents was prepared, and on August 11, 1952, the Katyville Fire District was created by the board of the towns of Plattsburgh and towns of Schuyler Falls. Whereas commissioners, volunteers, and members of the community soon realized that funding the new department would become an issue and a concern. And whereas the members of the Katyville Fire Department have had a long history of community service and pride which continues through today. And whereas 50 years ago, the Katyville Volunteer Fire Department, the auxiliary, and the commissioners entered into discussion that led to the creation of what now is known as the Katyville Parade and Field Days. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, commends those individuals through those foresight that the Katyville Fire District was created, and that only organized and continued parade and field day activities taking place in the town of Plattsburgh began in 1965. And it be further resolved that the town board expresses its heartfelt appreciation and congratulations to all those, current and past, who have in the past 50 years provided their labor and time to protect and serve the community, and to bring the residents of Katyville and the greater Plattsburgh area a seasonal event to honor, recognize, and support the work of their department by recognizing to the others who entered into the parade, followed by a wholesome assembly of games, foods, entertainment, community time, and the annual Fireman's Field Day.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Dave, is there a second?
Second.
Mannix. Any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Meg Lefebvre,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Cashman.
Yes, passes. I will just add that, obviously, the field day activities last year, which would have been their 50th annual, was canceled due to the prison outbreak last year, and we look forward to recognizing them with the upcoming weekend. So, well, moving forward, Resolution 16-120, Proclamation of Recognition.
Whereas on June 6, 2015, inmates Richard Matt and David Sweat broke out of the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, cutting holes through their cell and making their way through the pipes and out the manhole, causing a mass manhunt throughout the North Country. Whereas the initial search focused primarily on the immediate areas surrounding the prison, including Katyville and the greater Plattsburgh area, with the former Katyville School building on Route 3 being transferred into the Law Enforcement Task Force headquarters. Whereas the New York State Police Troop B Major Charles Guest dedicated more than 1,500 federal, state, and local law enforcement personnel from 16 agencies, including hundreds of correctional emergency response team officers who were involved in the horrendous 23-day search. Whereas Sergeant Jay Cook led a mobile response team of troopers who trudged day and night in the blistering heat and tolerance rains through the North Country, most difficult terrain, eventually leading to the pursuit, and capture of David Sweat in the town of Constable. Whereas Sergeant Cook's heroic capture of David Sweat ended a 23-day manhunt without injury or death to any law enforcement personnel or civilian, restoring peace in the communities throughout the town of Plattsburgh, Clinton, and Franklin counties, and the entire state of New York. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, commends Major Guest and Sergeant Cook for their terms, along with the Sheriff, Dave Favreau, Clinton County Sheriff's Department, and hundreds of CERT leaders and team members for their consistency, training, and skills. And it be further resolved, the town board extends heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to all those who were instrumental in the successful conclusion of the manhunt, and for all of those dedicated women who made public safety their life's work. Due to their leadership and skills and unwavering commitment to serve and protect the public, Major Guest and Sergeant Cook were instrumentally in protecting the lives of all residents of the North Country, the state of New York, and as well as the neighboring states and Canada.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Dave, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, is there any discussion? I'd like to put forth thank you to Meg for assisting in getting this proclamation together. Today, June 6th, does note the beginning of the long, drawn-out saga that was the prison outbreak, and today the report came out, but I think many of us continue to connect with our community as being Clinton strong, and look forward to participating in the Katie'ville parade that's going to actually recognize many of the members that committed themselves to this region, to seeing the successful capture. So we will put this proclamation forward to those individuals, seeing if we can get it in their hands directly, but just I think this particular proclamation is a long time coming. So roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Bennett,
Yes.
Mike LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Heber,
Yes.
Mike Cashin.
Yes, carries. Resolution 1621, request to advertise for sealed bids for May Courier well testing.
Whereas the Water and Wastewater Department is in need of securing an additional source of water to provide a safe, reliable, and sustainable product. And whereas the potential source has been identified at the May Courier property, which requires additional testing to determine productivity, viability prior to moving forward with the development of the new well. And whereas plans and specifications have been prepared by the Burge Engineering Consulting Group entitled May Courier Well Test. And whereas May Courier Well Test specification was previously advertised with no bids received in November 2015. Whereas Scott Stoddard, Water and Wastewater Director, has requested that the town board solicit bids for material and labor to complete said well test. Now therefore be resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise for sealed bids for the project entitled May Courier Well Test, for which bid specifications and non-conclusion documents will be made available from the town clerk. And said advertisement shall be placed in the Press Republican, with bids to be opened on July 14, 2016 at 3 p.m. at the Town Hall Complex, 151 Banker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901. And it be further resolved that the town board reserves the right to reject any and all bids offered. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the town clerk, director of the Water and Wastewater Department, and the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mannix, is there a second?
Second.
Babe, any discussion? Any discussion? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Mike LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Heber,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, carries. Resolution 16122, zoning map amendment petition.
Whereas on January 11, 2016, the town board of the town of Plattsburgh received a zoning amendment petition from landowners Robert and Pamela Rober requesting tax map parcel 204.3-2-2 located at the intersection of New York State Route 3 and New York State Route 374 exit ramp, south side, to be rezoned from R2 residential to NC neighborhood commercial district. Whereas the town board thereafter adopted resolution 16-043 at its regular meeting held January 19, 2016, and pursuant to zoning ordinance Article 17, referred to as 17.3, and a petition for the planning board in the town of Plattsburgh for a report and recommendation in accordance with this section. Whereas the town board is in receipt of the planning board minutes and resolution 16-11 adopted at the meeting held on March 15, 2016, in accordance with the zoning ordinance 17.2 and 17.3, for which the resolution said and found, based on the findings and recommendation report of the planning board dated March 15, 2016, that the board, town board considered, 1, amending the zoning map by rezoning map parcel 204.3-2-2 located at the intersection of New York State Route 3 and New York State Route 374 exit ramp from R2 residential to NC neighborhood commercial district. Excuse me. Amending the definition of neighborhood convenience store in Article 1 of the zoning ordinance to establish maximum allowable buildable area for the neighborhood convenience store to be 10,000 square feet or less. Excuse me. Whereas the Clinton County Planning Board was provided with a copy of the proposed zoning map amendment and findings and recommendation of the report of the planning board dated March 15, 2016, and by unanimous vote on April 6, 2016, determined the general municipal law section 239M referral action to be and approved with their consistent recommendations considering rezoning to R2 parcels west of the petitioner's parcel to NC, and comment was reviewed and considered and placed on file.
Ricky, you want some help?
Yeah, you can read, go ahead.
Whereas the town board duly called for a public hearing for the consideration of the aforesaid amendment and gave due notice thereof as required by law. And whereas said public hearing was held by this town board at the town hall at 151 Banker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, on the 18th day of April 2016 at 5:05 p.m. of said day, at which time the proposed zoning map amendment, findings and recommendations report of the planning board dated March 15, 2016, and proposed seeker materials were available. And whereas said part 617 of environmental conservation law provides for an involved agency to review any action for the purpose of determining the effect of said action on the environment. And whereas said determination of the effect of said action on the environment will be necessary to determine whether a draft environmental impact statement is required. And whereas the town board is considered an involved agency in accordance with state laws for the purpose of assessing the effect of these zoning ordinance and map amendments on the environment, and whether or not said effect is significant enough to warrant the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement. And whereas the town board has previously declared the zoning map amendments to be an unlisted action and determined that a coordinated review was not necessary pursuant to the seeker, and whereas the town board has identified the relevant areas of environmental concern, has taken a hard look at these areas, and has made a reasoned elaboration of the basis for its determination. And whereas after review and discussion of the planning board's findings and recommendations report, it is the opinion of the members of the town board that the best interests of the town of Plattsburgh will be served by the adoption of said amendments. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board, in consideration of the planning board report and recommendations, no comments made at the public hearing on zoning map amendments, the review of part 1 and the completion of parts 2 and 3 of the EAF long term, and the review of related materials accordingly issues a negative declaration under seeker for the proposed zoning ordinance and map amendments, determining that said amendments will not have a significant effect on the environment, and the preparation of a DEIS is not required, and said declaration is hereby referenced and incorporated herein, and shown as the attached seeker documentation, and be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh does hereby authorize and direct the supervisor to complete and have prepared and to execute a notice of no significant environmental impact negative declaration for these zoning ordinance and map amendments. And be it further resolved that the notice of no significant environmental impact negative declaration and all related materials shall be maintained on file at the town offices of the town board and available for public inspection, and the reasons for the decision are stated in the attached negative declaration, and be it further resolved that the zoning ordinance and map of the town of Plattsburgh be amended as follows. Amending the zoning map by rezoning tax parcel 204.3-2-2 located at the intersection of New York State Route 3 and New York State Route 374 exit ramps from R2 residential to NC neighborhood commercial district, and amending the definition of neighborhood convenience store in Article 1 of the zoning ordinance to establish the maximum allowable building area for neighborhood convenience stores to be 10,000 square feet or less. And be it further resolved that said amendments be entered in the minutes of the meeting of the town board of the town of Plattsburgh held on the 6th day of June 2016, and be it further resolved in accordance with section 264 and 265 of town law, a copy, summary, or abstract of the amendments shall be published in the Press Republican, a newspaper published in the town, and that affidavits of publication thereof shall be later filed with the town clerk. And be it further resolved that the amendments shall be effective as provided and in accordance with section 265 of the town law. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the town clerk, zoning department, and planning department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Bert. First of all, thank you, Meg, for
Yes, thank you.
these. Thank
You
you
okay?
as well.
You gonna make it?
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Mark Hebert,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, carries. Resolution 16123, community partnership between Town of Plattsburgh and the Foundation of CVPH Exhibit A.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh approved resolution 16-80 for a partnership with the foundation of CVPH to strengthen existing cooperation and further development activities focused on recreational opportunities for the residents of the town of Plattsburgh. Whereas the foundation has submitted Exhibit A and needs to approve to move forward. And therefore be resolved, the supervisor be authorized to sign Exhibit A after the approval of the town attorney for the services as attached on behalf of the town of Plattsburgh and the CVPH Foundation. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the foundation of CVPH, finance manager, and park and recreation department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, carries. Resolution 16124, resurfacing and repainting for Cliff Haven Recreation Park courts.
Whereas the Park and Recreation Department, in cooperation with the Building and Grounds Department, is responsible for the maintenance of the tennis, pickleball, recreation courts in the town of Plattsburgh. Whereas to maintain the value and use of said courts, the department must maintain the courts on a maintenance schedule. Whereas Mr. Fyatt has obtained formal written quotes for the purchase of tennis resurfacing and painting that were received and reviewed by Mr. Fyatt. Now therefore be resolved that the town board is hereby authorized for resurfacing, cleaning, and repainting of the tennis courts by Vermont Tennis Court Resurfacing, P.O. Box 6, St. Johnsbury, Vermont, 05819, in the amount of $7,751. And it be further resolved, the supervisor be and hereby authorized to sign all related documents relative to the resurfacing, repairing of Cliff Haven Recreational Park to be made payable from the field maintenance account for 2016. And be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the finance manager, Mr. Fyatt, Youth and Service and Recreational Director, and building and grounds superintendent Art Rowe.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Annex. Any discussion?
Well, I think it, it should be noted that this goes along with the previous resolution that we just passed, the partnership between the foundation and CDPH, and that through them we'll be able to get a grant to do most of this work.
Any other conversation? Thank you, John. Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Michael Fay,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 16125, temporary seasonal hire for lifeguards in the recreation department.
We're gonna ask the supervisor to receive a letter dated May 12, 2016, from Melody Defy, Youth and Service and Recreational Director, requesting to hire summer lifeguards. And whereas the Youth and Service Recreational Director has recommended that all guards will start on or after June 11, 2016, to be as follows: Alex Bruno, $10.50. Allison Fink, she's got two. Is that water lifeguard?
It depends on the role.
Oh, okay.
When she's in charge, you get the larger amount.
Yep.
Can I make a point? I don't think we need to be reading, these, use names and what their rate of pay would be. Okay, I don't think we do that with,
You don't want to?
other positions.
Oh, okay.
I think you can just go,
That's fine.
Okay, and that the list of candidates will be appointed to said positions and that all employment verification and eligibility provisions have been satisfied. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor is authorized to sign all necessary documents to hire seasonal temporary help in the Park and Recreation Department, and that a certified copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, youth director, co-insuring, and Clinton County Civil Service Department of Personnel for their final approval and following.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Seconded.
can I make a comment?
Yeah.
I don't think this makes reference to a copy going into each of the youth's, files.
Okay.
Talking about the personnel file?
Yeah. A copy should go into each of the, various youth's personnel file.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Michael, she was able to fill all her positions?
Seems to be, yeah. Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Michael Fay,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, carries. Resolution 16126, the appointment of Dustin Gardner as MEO2 in the Highway Department.
Whereas the Highway Department has a vacancy created by promotion, and therein is a need for additional staff member in that department. Whereas all applications of said position have been reviewed, and the job has been posted by James Wood Highway Superintendent as per union contract. And whereas the Highway Superintendent recommends that Dustin Gardner be appointed to said position. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of town of Plattsburgh is hereby authorized the hiring and appointment of Mr. Gardner to a vacant position of MEO2 at an hourly rate of $18.89 as indicated in the current Teamster agreement. And that a copy of this civil service, and a copy be given to civil service for their final review and approval. And it be further resolved that the appointment will become effective June 7, 2016, following civil service final approval, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all necessary documents for the appointment of Mr. Gardner to the position of MEO2 in the Highway Department with a probationary period not to exceed 12 months. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, highway superintendent, and one to be placed in Mr. Gardner's personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Mannix? Is there any discussion?
I just point out that this is purely an appointment of the highway superintendent, selected official, that we don't have anything to do with the interviewing and process and hiring.
Anything else? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Doug Lefay,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
and Mike Kashner.
Yes, carries. Resolution 16127, authorizing the highway superintendent to start the 2016 paving program.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh has appropriated a total of $374,182.66 in the 2016 highway budget for 2016 road paving program. Whereas James Wood, Highway Superintendent, has identified town roads that are in the greatest need of repair with a total estimated cost of $304,896.02. Whereas funding for the 2016 paving program repair and improvements program shall be taken from DA 5110-4200 and DA 5112-4200 and CHIPS account DA 5112-2000. Therefore be resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the highway superintendent to spend the appropriated funds to implement the aforementioned 2016 road paving program, with paving to take place on the roads as recommended by the highway superintendent. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and to the highway superintendent.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion?
They just, attached a list of, streets and roads, so it might change in a small manner, depending on what happens.
Correct. Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Mike Lefay,
Yep.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Kashner.
Yes, carries. Resolution 16128, final payment estimate, Route 3 Sorrel Ave, final waiver of lien and substantial completion of the project closeout.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh resolution 14-92 previously awarded to Stephen E. Fuller Excavating Incorporated for the bid of the pump station. Whereas Fuller Excavating Incorporated has submitted paperwork for the final payment estimate and has completed the paperwork as indicated in the substantial completed certificate along with a waiver of lien and project closeout. Excuse me. And whereas LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group and Scott Stoddard, Director of the Water and Wastewater Department, have reviewed and inspected said project and report all requirements have been met and work has been completed. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor hereby authorized to make payment in the amount of $28,338.16 for final payment dated December 15, 2014 to April 22nd, 2016, payable to Stephen E. Fuller Excavating Incorporated, P.O. Box 386, 8 Chesterfield Street, Keysville, New York, 12944. And it be further resolved, the supervisors hereby authorized and directed to execute copies of engineer's substantial completion document along with Route 3 and Sorrel Avenue project. And it be further resolved the closeout of capital project H03 and H04 upon distribution of the funds, and any remaining funds be returned to the Route 3 and Sorrel Avenue pump station account. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution and executed periodic estimate final along with a waiver of lien and a copy of substantial completion of closeout project be given to the finance manager, LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group, and the Director of Water and Wastewater Department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, Mannix. Any discussion?
I'll just point out, this is one of the ones we had a little trouble with. It's taken about 3 years because there was different problems with that particular pump station, but they finally all have been resolved, and it's been signed off, everything's complete.
Yes, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Mike Lefay,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Kashner.
Yes, carries. It was listed that there may be the potential to go into an executive session for the history of particular persons on the matter, and/or with talking about the contract that's not needed this evening. So at 7:30, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Made. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Any discussion? Roll carries. Thank you very much. And if anybody needs stuff signed for classes and stuff like that, let us know. We'll be happy to do so. The department will be in contact with you. Okay, thank you.
Hey, Travis. What are you doing here?
Need something signed?
No, I retired.
Sometimes
they might not.